Duit everyone, welcome back to my sitting room. My name is Diesel and you are as always most welcome. Apologies for the slightly glowing thing we got going on. I'm a pasty human being and the light it doesn't help. Anyway, today we're going to be reviewing a series because I never reviewed the books in between while I was reading them. So let's just get on with it. I need to warn you in advance that out of all the times I have butchered an author's name, this is definitely going to be the worst one. And if you've been here a while, you know it gets pretty bad, so just be prepared. But the book series we're going to review today is called His Fair Assassin, and it is by Robin LaFevers, I think. Actually, that's probably not too far off, I hope, maybe, I don't know. It is a trilogy, and it is pretty awesome. So the overall story follows the life of three different girls. Before you get to the second and third book, you've already met the girls that are the main characters in these books, as they all intertwine with each other's story. The books are set basically over the same time frame, but there's never a repeat of what has happened in the other books. Things that have happened in them might be referenced, but you never read that scene again. Because all the stories intertwine, you really are getting to see what was happening with these characters at the time where the other character stories were also taking place. They go in order of Grave Mercy, Dark Triumph, and then Mortal Heart. Personally, Dark Triumph was my favourite, but let me try to put into words what these books are about without spoiling it. The short explanation of these books is death-worshipping nuns kick ass. But in order to give you a bit more of a spoiler-free, in-depth vision of what you might be getting yourself into, I thought I'd start out with Grave Mercy, because the start is an excellent place to start, I think. So, book one is Grave Mercy, which follows the story of 17-year-old Ismay, who has really just escaped a pretty crappy existence. Her dad was a jerk, and then he sold her into an abusive marriage. Luckily, she finds safety in a convent for the Saint Mortain, who just happens to be the god of death. When Esme arrives at the convent, she learns a few new things about herself, so to speak. She also learns that the god himself has actually blessed her with some pretty unusual gifts and given her a chance to follow a violent destiny. If she chooses to stay at the convent, she will be trained as an assassin. She will be an assassin nun and serve basically as the handmaiden of death. So to live her new life, she'll essentially have to take the lives of other people. There is more to Esme's story, but to explain the series, to concentrate only on Grave Mercy would be misleading, because the other two books, while Esme is in them, they're not essentially about her. They actually follow the lives of two girls that Ismay meets in the convent when she gets there. Their names are Aneth and Sabella. Sabella is the second book in the trilogy and Aneth is the third. And their stories all intertwine. They're all very different characters. Their personalities are very different. Their backstories are extremely different. Like I said, the second book, Sabella's book, is my personal favourite. I can't really do a breakdown of this in the way that I would usually on a normal if I just read one book, because it would be confusing. But I will say that these books are definitely well worth the read. The only thing that I didn't like about them was because, well, I suppose maybe not because, the ending, the final page of both the first one and the second one for me was a bit a bit lackluster, as it felt like I had gone on this journey all this way and suddenly it was just flatlined. They weren't sufficient endings for what I would have liked, but I still enjoyed going on to the next one. I didn't think that I would like jumping from character to character. And I really did think it was going to be a retelling of the same story, but all the books are so completely different, and they have like excellent little twists and turns in, and the characters are all so thought out. You can really see that the author puts so much dedication into research about this, because while it's based on, I'm not going to say true events, but it's based in a world that was real. Some of the characters that are named were real characters, maybe exaggerated a bit. And the way they speak is very setting to the whole ambience of the book, really. I just really liked. And I'd never heard of these books before, and I'd never heard of this author. It just came up randomly one day on my Kindle, and I thought I'd give it a shot. So if you would be interested, I would definitely recommend that you give them a go. It is a really good series. It had its problems, mainly the endings of the books, and some of Annette's story was a slightly bit confusing, but like, I liked Esme's story. I loved Sabella's story. It was awesome. And I was kind of unsure whether I'd read, but I figured I'd just go to finish out the series, and I'm glad I did, because it's mixed into the other ones, of course. So other than that, would I recommend these books? Definitely. Give them a shot. They're super cheap on Kindle if you're into that. I think the first one might have even been free at the time that I bought it. The style is really good. The author did a lot of like good research and proper, well thought out thoughts, which I'm not having right now. I'll probably collect these better. I'm not even sure how I'm going to write this on a blog. I should practice series writing, or maybe I could just review books as I read them. Then we wouldn't have this problem, and you wouldn't have to listen to this. Anyway, other than that, that's all I have to say. Until next time, slán agus go raibh maith agat for coming.